So that means today maybe Ben will have to answer all the questions.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, Minila. Thank you. Okay, we are good to go. So let us share. Okay, let me share screen. Okay. I hope all of you can see. Okay, so today is lesson 15. Like we shared last week, we did the main idea, supporting and non-supporting details. So today we're going to finish this up with just 2 questions, and then we can move on to adjectives. Okay, I think adjectives is something that maybe some of you, or if not all of you, are quite familiar with, but because it may be in August, we're going to do speaking activities. So adjectives will come in very importantly, okay, and then we're going to practice using adjectives. And Buhumi is also here, and Mahisha. Good, we've got more students coming in. Okay, so now we're going to do a review, just helping us to try and recall what we've learned last week. So why do we need to learn about main idea? When we can recall main ideas in each paragraph, it will actually help us to recall important information better, and then we can better understand, respond to the comprehension questions. Okay, so that's the reason why we want to know how to identify the main idea. And for the past 2 weeks, many of you have tried. It is not easy. So you need to know the different components of the main idea. So you need to know what's the topic, which is usually the subject. You need to know that each paragraph has a main idea, and the main ideas is actually supported by the details. Okay, so when we want to know a topic, which is the subject, we ask ourselves, what is the whole story about? And then to identify the main idea, we usually ask, what is this paragraph about? Sometimes there is a sentence that will tell you, okay? And of course, there will be details called the supporting details that will tell you about the main idea. Okay, so here, in terms of the main idea, we ask ourselves, what is this paragraph about? If you cannot answer that, you try and look for the main sentence, that one sentence that actually describes the main idea. If not, you think about, if I were to tell the story, this paragraph to another person, what would I say? Okay, so there is a topic sentence like these 2 examples here. And other than supporting details, there are details that are not directly related to the main idea in each paragraph, which are called the non-supporting details, which we did last week. So today, let me see. So this is an example that we did last week. Okay, in this topic, in this example, the topic is insects, and then the main idea for the paragraph is the kind of insects. And okay, but if you look at that, in these 3 details here, 2 of them are supporting details because they directly talk about the kinds of insects. But like I said, to make the passage and the so-called the text that you're reading more interesting, the author may add in additional information which may not be directly related to the main idea. So you need to be able to identify. So now we're going to read each of the paragraphs about Indian homes. Okay, you are going to find 3 supporting details that tells about each main idea. Okay, and then you will tell me what is the main idea about. Okay, let's get somebody to read this for me. Anyone wants to volunteer and read?
May I read?
Yes, please.
Navajo families needed homes that were good for desert living. They lived in hogans. Hogans were mold-like buildings made from mud and logs. The mud walls kept the Hoggans cool in summer and warm in winter. Hoggans did not have windows. They had one door that faced east, toward the rising sun. They also had a hole in the roof to let out smoke from a fire.
Very good. Thank you, Izumi. So you see, you realize that teacher Jinie is also asking you to read the text where I do not teach you how to read them anymore. And I think you are quite confident. So be ready next time. When you see a text, be ready to read it, okay? Most of the words, even some words you're not very sure, try and read it and you should not get it wrong, okay? So we want 3 supporting ideas. And if you realize when Izumi was reading this text, there were more than 3 ideas. So you can shout out the answers. Which do you think are the which are 3 supporting ideas you can identify? You don't have to give me the full sentence because when we look at supporting details here now, I want you to give me short things that are very clear. This is a supporting detail, okay? I'll give you an example. Hoggans, they needed homes, good for this desert living. Okay, that is one supporting idea. Okay, I must know this thing that we're talking about is good for desert living. What else? Shout out, unmute yourself and shout out which other supporting ideas are there. Anyone? Uhumi, are you there? You want to try? Minila? Yes, Uhumi.
Mound-like buildings made from muds and logs.
Bingo! Okay, you seem to have seen my answer, but no, well done. Yes, mold-like buildings made from muds and logs. So if let's say we're having a conversation, I just give you things like good for this desert living, mold-like buildings made from muds and logs. And by this time, you should roughly know what is the main idea going to be. But let's try again. What else are the supporting ideas? Anyone else? Minila, you want to try Minila? Or Ben? Ben, you want to try?
The mud walls kept Hogan's cool with sun and warm in winter.
Very good. Yes, that is a supporting idea. Cool in summer, warm in winter. Well done. Okay, someone else. What's another supporting details? Although they want 3, okay, but you realize that we want to show all here. So any 3 that you can think, look at it, they're all correct. Okay, so anyone else? Okay, I will review, okay, the last 2, and then somebody will give me the main idea. Okay, did not have windows. Okay, this thing that we're talking about, the main idea, had also only one door, and this door faces the east. And of course, it has a hole in the roof. So what is the main idea here? Anyone can shout out the answer. What do you think is the main idea?
Navajo families needed homes.
Okay, that is Buhumi. Buhumi has said, very good. Buhumi has identified, maybe this is the topic. This first sentence tells us about the main idea. Very good. Okay, good try. Navajo families needed homes that were good for desert living. More specifically, so what is this homes here? Just one word.
Hogan.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Yes, Hogans, because you realize that Navajo families needed homes that were good for desert living. That's just one part of it. But you must know that when we look at the supporting ideas which are good for desert living, mold-like buildings, they're from muds and logs, they're cool in summer, warm in winter, did not have windows. That's just one thing that is talking about, which is Hogans. Okay, this is more accurately Hogans. Okay, very good try. Now let's take a look at the second one. So same thing, similar thing. Okay, we get somebody to read the text for me. Anyone?
Can I, teacher?
Yes, Buhumi?
The Cheyenne needed homes that could put up and take down in a hurry. They lived in teepees are cone-shaped tents. The Cheyenne tied long wooden poles together at the top. They spread out the bottom of the poles to make a circle. They sewed animal hides together. They can stretch the hides over the wooden poles. Sometimes they painted pictures on the outside of their teepees. To keep warm, they built a fire in the center of the teepee. The smoke went out a small hole at the top of the teepee.
Hey, very good, Buhumi. Good try. Okay, so there are a few difficult words. Okay, a word here is Cheyenne. Okay, Cheyenne or Cheyenne. This is a name of a tribe. Okay, if you read it as Cheyenne or Cheyenne, you won't be wrong, okay, because it's a name that we're not familiar with. But if you read it as Cheyenne, you will have to continue reading it as Cheyenne along the way. Okay, so Buhumi, just now you tried to change some of the names along the way, the same word, but you try and read it in a different way because you're not very sure. So be confident. If you read it as Cheyenne, you just continue reading it as Cheyenne. Okay, same for the word teepees. Okay. If you say it as teepees, continue reading it as teepees along the way, okay? Be very confident. So when you don't switch from teepee to teepee, because then the person who's listening will know that, oh, maybe you're not very sure, okay? But if you keep it to the same pronunciation, they're usually okay with that, okay? So be very careful, but good try, Buhumi. So, if rainwater can come inside, which kind of house, which home are you talking about, Reverend Akila?
Okay.
The Hogans, is it? I don't think so. I think the muds were very thick, so it shouldn't. And I think, okay, yeah, maybe you're right, because, okay, we go back to the earlier text, okay, because I think Reverend Akila is asking, because if you realize that this Hogan is made of mud and log, that means when the mud is wet, they put it up, and when it dries, they live inside. But you realize, why are they not worried about rain? Anyone can tell me the answer. Why is it that the Navajo families don't mind using mud and log to build this house? It tells that they are not worried about rain. And which part of this text tells you that they don't have to worry about rain at all? Anyone can help me with this?
The mud walls kept the Hogans cool in summer and warm in winter.
Okay, that is that Manila who was talking? Okay, yes, the mud walls kept the Hogans cool in summer and warm in winter. Okay, but it does not directly answer the question. The question is, why are the Hogans not worried the rain will get in? They're not even worried about rain. Why? Okay, I'll give you a clue. Navajo families needed homes that were good for desert living. What does it mean by desert living? What is a desert? Anyone knows what's a desert? Minila, yes.
Desert.
Again? In the what?
In desert, there is no rain.
Okay, yes, Minila, good try. In the desert, it's very sandy. You cannot find a lot of water because in the desert, it seldom rains or rain doesn't come very frequently. So that could be one of the reasons why they choose to use the mud and log, because there most probably will not be rain at all. Okay, I hope that answers Reverend Akila's question, but I think it's a very good question, which is why when you read the passage, comprehension questions might come out like this. Okay, why would the Navajo families not be afraid of rain coming into the Hogans? Okay, thank you, Reverend Akila. So because when we look at this passage here, I will also have a question to ask you later. Okay? Yes, so now, who can find 3 supporting ideas? Now, throw out the supporting ideas for us. Okay, let me choose the first one. Put up and take down in a hurry. This is a supporting idea. It tells me about the main idea. This thing that we're talking about can be put up and taken down in a hurry. Okay, anyone else? Come, throw out the supporting ideas.
Cone-shaped tents.
Very good. Cone-shaped tents. Yes.
And tied long wooden poles together at the top.
Okay, good try. Yes, it's made by tying long wooden poles together at the top. What else?
Set of the bottom of the poles to make a circle.
Very good. Okay, you spread out the bottom of the poles to make a circle. What else?
Sewed animal hides together.
Well done. Okay, they are made by sewing the animal. Oops. Okay, I think I missed that. They are made by sewing animal hides together. Okay, there's also, they are stretched, then the hides are actually stretched, okay, over the wooden post. What else? There's so many supporting ideas here. One more. Just
pictures on the outside of their teepees.
thank you. Okay, yes. They painted pictures outside the teepees. Okay, now I'll show all the rest. Okay, there is a fire in the center of the teepee and the smoke goes out in a small hole. So here, what is the main idea?
Teepees.
Very good. Who was that? Who was that? I cannot get. Is it Mahisha?
Yes, madam.
Okay, yes, the answer is teepees. Well done. So this is, you realize that all that we underline, the supporting details, talks about the teepees, and there are most of them. Okay, that's why I'm very sure that it's about teepees. So now I want to ask the next question. When we talk about the Cheyenne, they wanted homes that can be put up and take down in a hurry. What does it tell us about the Cheyenne? Do they live in a place for very long or not? For example, you live in your house for very, very long. You don't move in and out to different houses, okay? And what do you think about the Cheyenne? Do they stay in a house for very long?
No.
No. Okay, very good, because it tells us that they put up and take down in a hurry. Then in the comprehension question, they may ask, what do you think is the reason why the Cheyenne keep moving from place to place? Why don't they stay put at one place? Why? What could be some of the reasons? Okay, Teacher Jinie does not know the reason. Okay, I need to find out. But this is a question in the comprehension. They're asking you, why do you think the Qian does not stay in a place for very long, but move from place to place? What could be some of the reasons? Anyone can tell me. Make a guess. Difficult question. Okay, I give you one of the reasons why some of these tribes move from place to place is because sometimes the land that they are using has been maybe already used up. Okay, for example, they find their own food, and that place they use up all the food, so they need to move to another place to find food. What could be some other reasons why they move from place to place?
For hunting.
Very good. What about hunting? Can you explain more, Minila? What do you mean by for hunting?
Catch animals for food.
Okay, very good. So one of the reasons could be they want to look for certain animals, right? And then maybe this area they cannot find the animals anymore. They move to another place. Good try. Okay. What other reasons can you think of?
Climate.
What about climate then?
Because the rain season very difficult to live.
Okay. Very good try. Yes, maybe because some of the climate, sometimes it may be too hot. Okay, and the TP, if you can look at the picture, is just like this. Okay, it may be sometimes too cold, then they need to move somewhere else. When it's too hot, they may need to somewhere else, move to somewhere else. And like maybe like Reverend Akila asked, if it rains a lot where they are staying, they may have to move somewhere else. That's why they need something that they can put up and take down very, very fast, and they can move place to place. So you see, by understanding the main ideas, okay, the supporting details, you also start thinking questions. Why does the passage read? Is it written in certain ways? Okay, good try. So we spent quite a bit of time on the main ideas and the supporting details. I think you are getting really good. Okay, so we are going to move to adjectives. Before I talk about adjectives, can anyone explain to me what is an adjective, if you know? Anyone wants to try? Give me an example of adjective. Maybe some of you know what is an adjective, but you don't know how to explain. Anyone wants to explain to me, what do you think is an adjective?
A word describing a noun.
Very good try. Did I hear a word that describes a noun? Yes, was it Minila?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, very good. So, well done. So an adjective is a word. Minila, I wonder if you have also looked at my slides. Okay, yes, a word that describes and give more information. Be very careful about nouns or pronouns. So nouns are words like place, things, animals, and one more. Okay, those are nouns, and pronouns are words like he, she, they that represents nouns. Okay, so and be very careful, because if they are not describing nouns and pronouns, that's another description. Okay, that's called an adverb, but today we're just talking about adjective. Okay, and adjective describes or give information about nouns or pronouns. Okay, usually the adjectives are about the color, size, quantities, quality, okay, or even a classification. So these are some examples. She wore a white dress, and you realize The white is an adjective. It describes the word behind, which is a noun, a dress. It was a tiny dog. So tiny is an adjective and it describes a dog, which is a noun. They had 5 children. 5, okay, is the quantity. That's why it is also an adjective. And it describes children, which are nouns, which is people. They were sad people. Again, people, the noun, and the word sad, the adjective, describes the people. It was a Victorian blouse. Blouse is the top that ladies wear, and Victorian is a type of classification, okay, when it was the period that people live in, okay, so it was a Victorian blouse. Okay, and then more importantly, we want to also, when we talk about adjective, we want to talk about order of adjective. When you use more than one adjective, okay, it usually you have to describe it in a particular order. So it usually starts with opinions or attitude, okay, and then followed by some others. For example, she was wearing an amazing is an adjective. Red is an adjective. They both describe the coats. So you put it in this format. Amazing followed by red. Okay, if you put it as red amazing coats, it's usually not so accurate. Okay, because you describe the opinions or the attitude first, then you talk about the factual one. Okay, so something that you can refer to. Okay, the smaller the order, the earlier you place them. For example, I saw an unusual bright, okay, bright talks about the physical quality, bright yellow light in the sky. Okay, so I'm using 3 adjectives. Sometimes we write like this, okay, and you must know what comes first. I don't say that I saw a red, bright, unusual light. It doesn't sound wrong, okay, but usually this is how we follow. We don't remember by heart, but as you start writing, it comes very natural to you, okay? So let's take a look at some examples. It's a long, narrow plastic brush. Okay, here we're describing the noun, here brush, okay, and it's long, narrow, and plastic is the kind of material, okay, the type, the material, which is number 8. That's why it's placed the last. Okay, it was made of a strange green metallic material. So material again is a noun, okay, and the 3 adjectives in front describes the noun. Panettone is a round Italian bread-like Christmas cake. Okay, Christmas cake is a noun. Okay, so I must point out that these words here, the adjectives describe the noun. Okay, so don't get it wrong because some adjectives and adverbs may look similar. Okay, let's look at some more examples. Okay, these are longer adjective phrases. Usually we don't write that much. Okay, she was a beautiful, tall, thin, young, black hair Scottish woman. Okay, there are people who write like this, nothing wrong, but get the order correct. Okay, okay, at least almost there. You don't start with she was a Scottish, beautiful, tall, thin, young, black hair woman. Okay, the Scottish will come at the end. Okay, and here, what an amazing little old Chinese cup and saucer. So 4 adjectives in one. Again, they describe the nouns, which are the cup and saucer. Okay, so now, after hearing Teacher Jinie for so long, we are going to practice using adjectives. So all of you have to speak. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to take a look at each picture. You have to think of 3 sentences to describe the picture. And each sentence must have at least 1 adjective. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. This is the Statue of Liberty. I hope most of you would have seen this before, okay, either on picture or on TV. It's in New York, US, okay? So if I were to describe the Statue of Liberty, and remember, we need to have one adjective in each sentence, I will do this, okay? I will say this. The famous Statue of Liberty is made of copper. Famous is an adjective. It describes the Statue of Liberty. From ground level to the torch, it stands at a whopping 93 meters. So whopping is an adjective and it describes the noun, which is the height. Okay? And last but not least, my third sentence will be this. It is a major tourist attraction of New York. So tourist attraction is a place. And major is to describe the place. So it's an adjective. Okay, so let's go on to the next picture. I believe most of you from Sri Lanka would know this place. Can anyone just read this for me? What is this, the name of this place? Anyone?
Sigiriya Rock Fortress.
Thank you, Minila. Since Minila, you are muted. Have you been to this place before?
Yes, teacher.
Oh, okay. Since Minila, you have been to this place. Why don't you tell us, give us 3 sentences, and remember each sentence must have an adjective to talk about this place. Let's try the first sentence. If not anyone who knows about this place, let's try and come up with 3 sentences. Anyone wants to try?
The Sigiriya is a famous place.
Okay, good try, Izumi. The Sigiriya is a famous place. Where? Where?
The Sigiriya is a famous place in Sri Lanka.
Very good. Okay, a famous place, or you can use a famous tourist attraction. I believe it is a tourist attraction. Famous, very good. That's one sentence, and famous is used to describe the place, which is the Sigiriya. Very good. Second sentence, who wants to try?
It was built by King Kashyapa.
It was built by King Kashyapa. Okay, I don't know if I get the name right. Did you use an adjective just in this sentence, Minila? Would you want to try and put in one adjective? Okay, it was built by King. What was the name of the king again?
It was built by Great King Kashyapa.
Thank you. Okay, it was built by Great King Kashyapa. Okay, I will not check whether the facts is there correct or not. Okay, but I think my objective now is for you to use adjective. Okay, we can change the sentence later with some of these facts. Good job. Great is being used, a great king. Okay, that's how we usually describe kings. And one more sentence.
This is very amazing place that I have ever seen.
Thank you, Buhumi. This is one of the very amazing places that you have ever been. Well done, okay? So, simple sentences, but you're using the adjectives, okay? Teacher Jinie actually got these sentences from the Wikipedia, okay, or from online. So, that's how they describe. The UNESCO listed ancient is very, very old. Rock fortress at Sigiriya is one of the most recognizable and possibly dramatic landmarks in Sri Lanka. So you see the kind of language that they use, okay? They describe many nouns here, the rock fortress and a landmark. Okay, you really use some of these words that we can learn, okay? Rising majestically out of the emerald forest, which is the color, okay, emerald forest. Sigiriya was built in the 495 AD and served as a palace with colorful frescoes for King Kashyapa. Okay, Very good. Okay, so this is how we can write. So I think it's good that all of you are starting somewhere. One day you will be able to write more or less something like this. Okay, don't have to be really as good as what the writers do. Okay, but you can get there by understanding some of these parts of the speech. Okay, so now I'm sure the Singapore teachers would love to hear some of you share about your country, Sri Lanka. So please come describe Sri Lanka in 3 sentences and putting an adjective in each sentence for me. Anyone?
Sri Lanka is very beautiful and little island.
Okay, Sri Lanka, it's a beautiful island. Okay, yeah, so, okay. I've always thought that Sri Lanka is a country, yeah, and I've never thought, oh yeah, it is actually, now that you talk about it, is an island on its own, and it's a big island, a beautiful island, right? Okay, very good. Now I've learned something. Sri Lanka is not just a country, it's a beautiful island. So somebody else, can you add on to the sentence that Buhumi has shared? And again, put in an adjective to your sentence.
Sri Lanka has very long history.
Very good. Thank you, Ben. How long is the history of Sri Lanka?
Very long history. And
Thank you.
it
Okay.
has mentioned
Again.
Mahavansa. All history. The Sri Lanka's all history has mentioned in a book Mahavansa called Mahavansa.
I see. Okay, so you see, when Ben was telling us that Sri Lanka has a very long history, suddenly we're all like, wow, maybe we should go there one day and find out about the long history. So history is a noun and it has a long history. So I mean, because Singapore doesn't have a very long history, where I don't know how long, how old are we? We are 57 years only. So Singapore has a history of 57 years. So when you say that Sri Lanka has a long history, wow, I'm sure there will be a lot of things to look at in Sri Lanka. Okay, and then we continue to build on the 3rd sentence about Sri Lanka. Who wants to do it? Yes, Izumi.
Sri Lanka is a very famous country.
Okay, Sri Lanka is a very famous country for what? What kind of things is Sri Lanka famous in? Anyone can share with me, what is Sri Lanka famous with?
Sri Lanka very famous for gems.
For again?
Gems.
Gems, I see. Ooh. Okay, anyone who wants to buy gems, do you know where to go? Okay, you see, when we are talking about adjective, okay, thank you, Izumi. So now we know, other than Sri Lanka being a beautiful island, it is a beautiful country too, and I heard about this before. Okay, so you see, all of you have been using the adjectives very well. Okay, and now let's take a look at the next thing, which may be something. Okay, so we were talking about Sri Lanka being a beautiful island and a country. Now, we talk about Yala National Park, and I've heard quite a bit about how beautiful Sri Lanka's nature is. Okay, so I'm going to push you a little further. We're not going to use the word beautiful anymore. Okay, we're not going to use words like pretty anymore. Okay, so please describe the Yala National Park for us. Anyone? I haven't heard from Chamika and Mahisha quite a bit.
Yala is one of the main national parks in Sri Lanka.
Thank you. Okay, so the word that the adjective that Ben used was main. Okay, now I know. I know that Sri Lanka as it's well known for their national parks and their nature. So now this is the main one. So anyone from Singapore, if you want to go and visit the national park, you have to go to this one. Thank you, Ben. Okay, next sentence. I saw Minila. Minila wanted to say something.
Yala National Park is famous for animals and trees.
Okay, the Yala National Park is famous for the animals and trees, such as what? If you can expand a little further, such as what kind of animals are there? Izumi, you want to add on?
Yala is located in a large area.
Ah, who was that? Was that Mahisha?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So Yala is National Park is located in a large area. Now I'm thinking, is this large area even bigger than Singapore? Does anyone know how big or how large is the Yala National Park in terms of kilometer? Anyone knows? If not, then teachers, if you're thinking of going to Yala National Park, you need to do your research, okay? It's large, it's beautiful, it has a lot of animals and trees, and it is the main national park that we need to go. Okay, very good. So you see, okay, so now I need to take out some of the words again, okay? Earlier we said we're not using pretty, not using beautiful. I also keep hearing the word famous, so we're not going to use famous later. And no more large, okay? And main, I don't think you will use main again, but good try. Let's take a look at the next picture. The king of the jungle. Okay, this animal here is known as the king of the jungle. So now again, I open the floor. Can you please tell me about what you know of the king of the jungle? You don't have to just describe the pictures that you see. You can also talk about something personal, okay? So maybe Teacher Jinie will start with one sentence first, then you carry on, okay? The king of the jungle is known to be okay, I can't think of something. Okay, okay. To be honest, Teacher Jinie has never seen a real lion except at the zoo. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to. Okay, the king of the jungle, the lion, has a majestic mane. Okay, which is the fur around. Okay, which makes it look so scary. Okay, so this is something I can think of, okay, because of the majestic mane, it just looks so scary. So I use two adjectives here. So can somebody add on to the second, to add on another sentence for me about the lion? Anyone? You live in a place with a lot of animals and trees. Yes.
The lion is very brave and scary animal.
Very good. Okay. So okay. Now, so Buhumi said that the lion is a brave and scary animal. Okay. Oh, okay. Yes. So the animal and the adjective is described as brave and scary. Okay, Buhumi, why do you think the lion is brave? Can you explain to us why do you think the lion is brave?
I think all of animals are afraid of him.
Okay, yes, because a lot of the animals are afraid of the lion. That's why you feel that it is very brave, right? Okay, very good. And one more sentence to describe the lion. So we've used the word brave and scary.
Lion is a very strong animal.
Thank you. Okay, the lion is a very strong animal. Why do you think so, Van? Try. Why do you think, what makes you think that the lion is strong?
So he can run very fast.
Okay.
And
yes.
He can very fast, run very fast, and it can hunt very easily the animal.
Thank you. Okay, so here Ben says that the lion is strong. Okay, so lion is a noun and strong is used to describe the lion. So when I asked Ben to describe more, why do you think the lion is strong? So she said the lion can run very fast. Okay, so this fast here is not an adjective. Okay, it talks about the run. Okay, that's why, but the fast, if you use it, the fast lion chased after the deer, then it's an adjective. Okay, so we must be a bit more careful. So, but good, thank you for explaining, because a lot of times when we look at the shows, okay, the documentaries, we look at how the lion was really fast in catching other animals, and then they are very good with tearing the meat, the flesh of all the other animals that they caught. Okay, thank you. So that's how we describe the lion. I think we're getting there with very simple adjectives. Okay, so in August, we will give you some time to prepare the sentences using adjective. Okay, we're going to describe some of the topics that we're going to talk about, and then we're going to talk about this. Okay, I believe a lot of you would have seen this before, the rainbow, and I'm sure you would have a lot of adjectives to talk about the rainbow. Anyone wants to share 3 sentences one by one? Come, have you all seen a rainbow before? Okay, because teacher Jinie said cannot use word like pretty, beautiful. Okay, you can still think of some words. Okay, I'll give you some time to think about it.
The rainbow is very lovely and colorful thing.
Okay, now very good. Is that Buhumi or yeah, Buhumi? Colorful, okay? The rainbow, it's a very colorful thing that we see in the sky, right? And usually when it rains or after the rain. Okay, now the second sentence, who can help me with that?
A beautiful
Teacher,
rainbow is made of 7 colors.
Okay, if we don't use the word beautiful, Izumi, is there another word that we can use to describe rainbow?
There are various colors in rainbow.
Okay, so Ben is giving us the third sentence. There are many colors in the rainbow. So here we want to bear in mind, then there is no adjective included. Okay, so let's go back to think about how can we add one adjective to this sentence. There is many colors in the rainbow. Okay, and also earlier Izumi, if you can replace the word beautiful with another word. Okay, the beautiful rainbows. Can we change to another word to describe?
Nice colors.
Ah, thank you, Ben. Okay, so Ben's sentence is the nice colors of the rainbow. Okay, I would say are very attractive. Okay, so attractive is again to describe the colors. Very good. Okay, nice. We're using the word nice. And Izumi, how come can we replace the word beautiful with another word? Okay, you can use word like amazing, eye-catching. Okay, sometimes, you know, in Singapore, we don't always see rainbow. And when we see rainbow, people will start, they're in awe. Okay, they really start taking picture, and that's how they feel. Okay, so that's how we can describe the very eye-catching rainbow. Okay, the colors are very eye-catching. So these are some of the words that we can use. Okay, other than words like beautiful, pretty, okay, we can think of some other words. Okay, so that's some homework for you, because in August, when we do the speaking, you have to think of some of these adjectives, okay, to describe what you want to talk about. Okay, and then we're going to the last picture, which is something very familiar to all of you. Describe school.
My school is one of the best schools in the country.
Wow, okay. Izumi, is that something real, something true, that your school is really one of the best in the country? What's the name of your school?
Chandra Jyoti School.
Okay, I am going to look up on it. Okay, thank you. Okay, one of the best. Okay, so that's an adjective. Okay, and it describes her school. Continue the second sentence. Anyone can add on? Okay, teacher Jinie will add on. Okay, so when we describe school, when we look at the picture, we can write, we can talk about more things than just the school itself. So one of the sentence teacher Jinie can add in: when the classes get too boring, the students will start falling asleep. So boring, classes, people fall asleep. So boring is an adjective and it describes the classes. Okay, there you have the second sentence. Who can add on the third sentence?
It has a huge campus with two big playgrounds, one at the front and the other behind the school building.
Thank you. So that's Izumi. Izumi is talking about the school in this picture. Okay, it's a huge place, a huge playground. It has a huge playground, or you call it the front yard, okay, or a courtyard, or yeah. Okay, I think you call it a courtyard. Okay, huge. Well done. Okay, so very good. So today, okay, I will not go into the reading because we don't have time. Okay, but I want to round up about adjective and description. So what today, a lot of you, when you describe the picture, you're basically thinking about what you see in the picture, but I want you to be a bit more imaginative. Okay, I want you to be a bit more imaginative. That is, when we want to talk about something, just think about your own experience too. Okay, how has school life been for you? You don't have to just look at the physical school itself. Okay, there's a lot of things to talk about. The classes, the teachers, your school building, the activities in the school. So describe all these things that you can describe. Okay, so if not, I think you're all doing very well. And it's the first time that I'm getting you to talk so much. Okay, no preparation, I just throw it to you. And you got to think of the adjectives yourself. So very good. Okay, give yourself a very big clap, and then we're going to end with questions. Anyone has any questions before we end the class? Anyone? Any questions about adjective? Teacher Jinie, you say cannot use beautiful, cannot use pretty. What other words can we use? That one, I won't be able to help you, okay? Go and find out more, okay? I think when we write, we also want to know what are some of these adjectives, okay? Teacher Jinie cannot write very well, so I use the same old words again and again too, but it's good to understand what are some of the words to describe things that are really beautiful. Awesome is a word. Some of you will use beautiful, amazing. Teacher Ulrich can think of some of the very adjectives that describes things that are very amazing. I can't think of. Okay, so yeah, maybe okay. Next week, let's see if we can't think about. We can come up with some of these words. Okay, I think Teacher Ulrich is trying to Google. Is it okay? Can throw out some words, Teacher Ulrich, please?
Astonishing. Astounding,
Hey.
breathtaking, bewildering.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, astonishing is something that we all often hear about. Bewildering, something that we're not very familiar with. Yes, but these are in the text. Okay, so you will say, no, sometimes you want to talk about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an it's an astonishing and beautiful country. Please come and visit. Okay, these are some of the ways you can make people, all the Singapore teachers, fly over to Sri Lanka. And thank you, Reverend Akila, over to you. We can't hear you.
Thank you, Teacher Jinie, for your wonderful contribution, and also Teacher Ulrich and Grace and Olihua and others who participate from the Singapore. Yeah, the session was very nice and it was interested, and actually these days the schools and the Dhamma school and the nunnery they may unable to unable to join these days because island-wide power failure. Yeah, so
how long has this been going